Welcome to another exciting edition of the Squared Circle 101. I'm John.
I'm Travis.
Shall we just get into it?
Alright, let's start with Raw.
The End Begins Mystery Man was revealed.
That man happened to be,
Chris Jericho. We already kind of predicted it, but it was still exciting to see Y2J.
always is.
Although his return was strange in the fact that he went out there and just started slapping high fives, jumping around, getting the crowd all riled up, didn't say a word and walked out.
Yeah. Very over the top.
But it was a return that left more questions than answers. What does this mean for the future for Y2J? What are his intentions? Honestly, as soon as he came out there and did all that stuff, I was sitting there saying, he is getting more over by just jumping around and doing all that and not saying anything than most people do when they go out and cut a promo. And I thought, that was probably the point of it.
Yeah.
It might have just been, hey, saying, because we figure he's going to feud with CM Punk, saying, hey, CM Punk, I don't even have to drop a pipe bomb. I can just come out here and do this and get these fans just as riled up as you can.
Yeah, something like that. Wouldn't be a bad...
Or it could be that he was trying to pull the swerve on us, come out there and act like a baby face. And
yeah, but that was way too over the top for it to... You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for the people that say that Jericho didn't say anything, yes he did. He said, come on baby, at least 20 times during that whole segment.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I was rolling when I heard him say that the first time during that segment. Also on Raw, we had a WWE title match that ended in a count-out victory for Dolph Ziggler, and at the Royal Rumble we will see the WWE title defended by CM Punk against Dolph Ziggler, and John Laurinaitis will be the special guest referee.
Should be a good match. Feud kind of came out of nowhere, but where it's the Rumble, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All eyes are on the Rumble match, so.
Also, at the end of Raw, we saw a very strange occurrence. Kane came up from a hole in the ring, beat up Cena, then tried to drag Ryder down into that hole in the ring.
They jumped the shark with this one, I believe.
Yeah. Cena stops Ryder from being dragged down, and then fire comes up from the hole, and Michael Cole kept referring to it as the Abyss. So we'll see where that's going, if anywhere. This Friday on SmackDown we're getting 2 huge title matches, an Intercontinental title match between Cody Rhodes and Booker T, and a World title match between Big Show and Daniel Bryan.
They, without talking about spoilers, ought to both be good matches.
Yeah, they ought to be some very good stuff on that edition of SmackDown. Also, we might see the beginning of a heel turn for one of the people involved in the world title match, Big Show or Bryan. I'm not going to spoil it, but you know what? The idea of it just got people watching this video compelled to watch it, right?
Yep.
You're welcome, WWE. You guys should hire me as your promoter or something.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit about TNA since, we totally didn't.
It's been kind of hard to keep up with TNA, to be honest. Impact's on tonight, 9 o'clock, Spike TV, so if you have to catch it, watch it. Yeah, we don't really talk about TNA, but TNA's kind of fallen in the years. We were getting those nice triple threats between Daniels, Styles, and Joe, and now those 3 are hardly relevant to the main storyline. At TNA's Genesis pay-per-view, it'll be Jeff Hardy versus Robert Roode for the world title.
Which Roode is, of course, homegrown, though, so.
Yeah, he is their world champion as well.
Mm-hmm.
That should be
If Hardy brings his game, it should be a good match.
Yeah, if he shows up drunk, it's not gonna be. But
Obviously not. But if he brings it, it'll be a good match. No doubt.
Jeff Hardy's kind of like the Sean Waltman of his time. You know, when he's on, he's good in the ring, but when he's on in another sense of the term, he ends up with a squash match against Sting. Which, by the way, Victory Road from this past year was voted as the worst pay-per-view of the year by just about every fan, just because of that.
Well, rightfully
debacle.
so. Rightfully so. It was a joke.
So, with Y2J Fever in the air, let's talk about some classic Jericho matches, moments. Travis, you got anything you'd like to share about Moon Goose McQueen?
Can we go all the way back to his WCW days?
Of course.
Okay.
Can't think of any reason why not.
When he came out and cut the promo listing all the moves he knows.
The 1004 holds.
Yeah. That was a very, very, very funny promo.
And every other hold was an arm bar.
Mm-hmm.
He's had his funny promos, of course, but when I think of Jericho, I think of tremendous in-ring work, like his matches against, like WrestleMania 20 against Christian, very overlooked match. Obviously had the drama involving their love triangle with Trish Stratus.
Yes.
And obviously Chris Jericho and Christian are two great workers, so you knew you were getting a great match. The swerve at the end where Trish goes off of Christian and turns heel herself was interesting.
Yeah.
And his feud with Christian really put him over as a babyface at the time, Jericho. With Jericho, you've got many classics to choose from. He was obviously, and he will never be shy to tell you about this, he is the only man in history to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in the same night.
Yes. First undisputed WWE champion.
Yes, that he was.
Any of his matches with Shawn.
Oh yeah, WrestleMania 19 was a classic dream match, actually, going into it. And you gotta love that they actually took their time preparing it. Like, they started planting seeds after the big 2 out of 3 falls match between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Used their involvement with each other in the Royal Rumble match to further progress the feud, and they just kept going and going from there until WrestleMania, and it delivered.
Absolutely.
See, that's kind of the thing with WWE nowadays, is that they
won't take
blow
the
it.
time.
Yeah, they just blow it off whenever they get the chance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They think, people don't have the attention span to wait it out.
That's kind of a shame.
But with guys like Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, it's going to be compelling television. So, increase your TV ratings before you increase your pay-per-view buy rate.
Sure.
And it all just kind of goes hand in hand, really.
Because the more people that watch your show, there's a better chance that they will, buy the pay-per-view.
Definitely. Of course, the Royal Rumble is coming upon us.
Very, very
exciting event.
Oh, yes.
If we can just run through some statistics of the Rumble.
Okay.
Now, for those of you that don't know what the Royal Rumble is, you basically two men start out in the ring, and every minute and a half or 2 minutes or somewhere in that time frame, another man comes out until the final man, number 30, has been out there. So you would think number 30 has the ultimate advantage going into the match.
But not always.
You see, the statistic is the guy that pulled out number 30 has won just as many times as the guy that's pulled out number 1, which is twice. The 2 guys to pull out number 30 and win it all are John Cena and The Undertaker. And the 2 guys that pull out number 1 are Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit. Yeah, I know I said Chris Benoit, and I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for that very horrible, tragic event. I don't want people mixing my words, but
right.
I'm not sorry that I acknowledge the man's existence, because he did play a major role in the history of professional wrestling.
Some other statistics about eliminations, which is in the Royal Rumble, the only way to be thrown out of the match is to literally go over the top rope and have both of your feet touch the ground. The man with the most eliminations in one Rumble is Kane with 11.
11, yes.
And the man with the most in a career is Shawn Michaels
with 41, I think. And three men have won it more than once. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels have both won it twice, and Stone Cold Steve Austin has won it an unprecedented, you guessed it, three times. But then again, what else would you expect? It's Stone Cold.
He's the man.
Also, for those of you that don't know why the both feet have to hit the floor rule is in effect, we call that the Shawn Michaels rule because in the 1995 Rumble, it looked like Davey Boy Smith had thrown him over, but only one foot had hit the floor, and he pulled himself back up in the ring and threw Davey out.
Yes.
Which is why that's so, what's the word, emphasized that both feet have to hit the floor.
Yeah. And then you had last year with John Morrison completely not even touching the ground and jumping all the way to the barricade.
And walking on the barricade and getting back in the ring, yeah. Also, rumor has it that, not trying to spoil anything, but rumor has it that whenever Brodus Clay does debut, he's going to be like a big monster and go in there and just eliminate everybody in the Rumble and,
yeah,
come out in a big way. By the way, they put off his debut again.
Yeah. It is becoming kind of that thing that they're pretty much just making a storyline now. The first couple of times it was actually due to one was time constraint and
the other one was due to he spoiled
his match.
Yeah.
And then another thing is the plan early for the Rumble creative had was for Randy Orton to win it because they are in St. Louis, Missouri, his hometown.
It's kind of cheap. I mean, he's won the Rumble before.
There's no real reason for him to win it.
It won't really do anything for him. He's already the top face on SmackDown. Not to mention, they're just going for a cheap pop to give him a victory in St. Louis.
Yeah, but with his injury now, that's looking less and less.
And rumor has it that he's going to return and win the whole thing, which I could see him returning into the Rumble and taking out Barrett and continuing their feud.
But to win the actual Rumble match would be wrong. There's a lot of younger guys who've never won it who would benefit greatly from it.
Like maybe
Sheamus,
yeah.
To get that opportunity to headline WrestleMania, the Rumble winner.
I don't see Sheamus winning the Rumble. I mean, even though he's winning over on SmackDown, storyline-wise, he's kind of in limbo.
But see, this would give him that storyline now.
Yeah. I could see a guy like maybe a Cody Rhodes or a Wade Barrett winning it, but Cody's rumored to be facing Goldust at Mania, and Wade Barrett is probably going to continue his feud with Orton. Of course, that's up in the air. We'll never know until it happens.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the Rumble. You never really know. I mean, who's going to return? Who's going to...
Like last year's Rumble, Booker T and Nash as Diesel returned. Even though it wasn't, big impact, it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, we will see what happens January 29th, day before my birthday. Viewers feel more than welcome to send me a present if you want.
Alright, I guess that should wrap things up here.
On the Squared Circle 101. I'm John.
I'm Travis.
We'll see you when we see you.